Welcome. Have a nice day. Today is Thursday, 19th of September 2024. On 19th September 1893, New Zealand women won the right to vote in elections. As a result, New Zealand became the first self-governing country in the world to extend this right to all women. Suffrage Day celebrates the aims of the movement for gender equality and is a reminder of the ongoing issue of equality for women. On September 19, also 1960, from the Indian history, the Indus River, also known as Sindhu River, water sharing settlement was signed in Karachi between India and Pakistan by then Indian Prime Minister Indira Gandhi and Pakistani President Muhammad Ayub Khan. Starting the newspaper analysis with the newspaper The Hindu states that China will be high on Quad Summit agenda, White House spokesperson. From left, Australian Prime Minister Anthony Albanese, United States President Joe Biden, and Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi are greeted by Japanese Prime Minister Fumio Kishida right during their arrival to the Quad Leaders Summit in 2022. United States President Joe Biden will host Quad leaders in his hometown of Wellington, Delaware on September 21st. China will be high on the agenda at the summit level, a meeting of the Quadrilateral Security Dialogue Quad, comprising the United States, India, Australia, and Japan, according to the White House spokesperson John Kirby. United States President Joe Biden will host Quad leaders in his hometown of Wellington, Delaware. On September 21st, Mr. Biden will meet individually with the Prime Minister Narendra Modi as well as the Prime Minister Anthony Albanese of Australia and Prime Minister Fumio Kishida of Japan. They will also meet together to discuss expanding cooperation across a range of critically important issues, according to the White House. United Nations General Assembly widely supports Palestinian resolution demanding Israel and its occupation. India abstains from voting. The final result of vote during the emergency session on the legal consequences of Israel's action in the Palestinian terrorists is shown at the United Nations headquarters on September 18, 2024 in New York. Only a two-state solution achieved through direct and meaningful negotiation between both sides will lead to peace, India's representative said. The United Nations General Assembly strongly supported a non-binding Palestinian resolution Wednesday, September 18, 2024, demanding that Israel and its unlawful presence in Gaza and the occupied West Bank within a year. The vote in the 993-member world body was 124 to 14. Among those in opposition was United States, Israel's closest ally. India was among the 43 abstentions. The resolution was adopted as Israel's war against Hamas in the Gaza approaches its first anniversary and as violence in the West Bank reaches the new highs. Troubled efforts to broker a ceasefire deal in the Gaza and are pressing ahead with the Secretary of State Antony Blinken meeting fellow Mediterranean Wednesday in Egypt. Even as attacks elsewhere in the region raises fears of escalating conflict in the Middle East. Riyad Mansour, the Palestinian United Nations ambassador, called the vote a turning point in our struggle for freedom and justice. It sends a clear message that Israel's occupation must end as soon as possible and that the Palestinian people's right to self-determination must be realized, he said. Arjigar impasse. Medics to continue strike after second round of talks remain inconclusive. A delegation of a junior doctors leave for Nabana State Secretary to bypass to meet West Bengal Chief Secretary Manoj Pant for a discussion on a certain key unresolved issue like security in a hospital from their Dharna site outside Savastya Bhavan in Kolkata on September 18, 2024. This was the second round of talks between the medics and the state government in 48 hours. The second round of talks between the junior doctor and officials of the West Bengal government on Wednesday, September 18, 2024 failed to break the medical strike over the Arjigar issue. Following the state's refusal to give written minutes of the meeting, the doctors alleged. After the meeting, the medics announced they will continue with their agitation and cease work movement till the government issues written directives on the safety of doctors in the state-run hospital as agreed in the meeting. This was the second round of talks between the medics and the state government in 48 hours. The first round was held with the Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee at her Kalighat residence on Monday. Meanwhile, senior Trinamool Congress leader Abhishek Banerjee on Wednesday urged the junior doctors to end their agitation and resume work. As a gesture of goodwill, the doctors should consider calling off the strike and work collaboratively with the West Bengal government to serve the needs of the people and expedite the implementation of the task force's initiatives to ensure these changes are promptly executed, Banerjee said in a post on X. Now, going towards the Hindustan Times newspaper states that 14 killed, over 450 injured in Hezbollah handheld radio blasts in Lebanon day after a Pagor attack. Lebanese soldiers and firefighters gathered outside a mobile shop after what is believed to be result a walkie-talkie exploded inside it in the southern port city of Sidon, Lebanon, Wednesday, September 18, 2024. Handheld radios used by the Lebanese army armored group Hezbollah detonated on Wednesday across the Lebanon's south in the Beirut suburbs and the Bekaa Valley, further stoking tensions with Israel a day after similar explosions by the group's pagers. Lebanon's health ministry said 14 people have been killed and 450 injured on Wednesday, while the death toll from Tuesday explosions rose to 12, including 2 children with nearly 3,000 injured. At least one of the Wednesday's blasts took place near a funeral organized by the Iran-backed Hezbollah for those killed the previous day, when dozens of the pagers used by the group exploded across the country and wounded many of its fighters. Hezbollah, which was thrown briefly into the disarray by the Pagor attacks, said on Wednesday it had attacked Israeli artillery position with rockets. The first strike at its Agfoy since the blasts, which raised the prospect of the wider Middle East war. India issues Pakistan notice on Indus Water Treaty review. Indus Water Treaty was signed in 1960 after 9 years of negotiation between India and Pakistan, and it brokered by the World Bank, which too is a signatory. India has served a formal notice to Pakistan on 30th August 2024 seeking its review and modification of 1960 Indus Water Treaty, a move that indicates its growing frustration with the working of the agreement, especially Islamabad's intransigent approach towards handling disputes related to the cross-border rivers. Article 12.3 of the treaty allows for its provisions to be modified by duly ratified agreements between the two governments. This follows a notification for modification of treaty that was conveyed by the Indian side on January 25, 2023. People familiar with the matter said. With this notice, India has called on Pakistan to begin government-to-government negotiations to review the treaty under the provisions of Article 12.3, the people added. The concerns that have driven in India to seek changes reflect altered circumstances. The people said there are 3 specific concerns that India has expressed to drive home the point that the 1960 understanding is no longer tenable. The new population demographics are the need to accelerate the development of the clean energy to meet India's emission targets, the impact of the persistent cross-border terrorism in the Jammu and Kashmir, which has impeded the smooth implementation of the agreement and undermined the full utilization of India's rights. The Indus Water Treaty was signed in 1960 after 9 years of negotiations between India and Pakistan, and it was brokered by the World Bank, which too is a signatory. It is considered the most durable treaty between the two countries, but has come under considerable pressure in recent years as bilateral ties plunged to an all-time low due to tensions related to terrorism and Jammu and Kashmir. The move to seek change also comes amid a prolonged controversy regarding the 330 megawatt Kishanganga and 850 megawatt Ratley hydropower projects. The World Bank has simultaneously activated both the neutral export mechanisms and the permanent court of arbitration on the same set of issues. The Indian side has also saw the reconsideration of the dispute resolution mechanism under the Indus Water Treaty, the people said. In 2015, Pakistan saw the appointment of the neutral expert handled its objections to the two hydropower projects, but it unilaterally retracted this in 2016 and sought a court of arbitration. In 2016, the World Bank appointed both a neutral expert and the chair of the court of arbitration. Though the World Bank put a pause on the both processes the same year, this was lifted in March 2022 at Pakistan's insistence, and both processes resumed. The treaty was not have been amended since it was signed in Karachi on September 19, 1960 by the then Pakistan President Muhammad Ayub Khan, then the Indian Prime Minister Jawaharlal Nehru, and Wab Elif of the World Bank. The World Bank will have no role in the proposed negotiations, which will be open-ended and cover all aspects of the treaty. At the time of independence in 1947, the India-Pakistan boundary was drawn across the Indus Basin. Leaving Pakistan as the lower riparian state, a dispute arose because some key irrigation works, including one at Madhupur on the Ravi River and another at Ferozpur on the Satluj River, on which the irrigation canals in Pakistan's Punjab province were completely dependent in Indian territory. The Indus Water Treaty allocation the western rivers Indus, Jhelum, Chenab to Pakistan, and the eastern rivers Ravi, Beas, and Satluj to India. It allowed each country certain use on the rivers allocated to the other. The World Bank role is largely procedural and limited to the designating neutral experts or the chair of the Court of Arbitration. Cabinet also approves of funds for the 4 space missions, including Chandrayaan-4 Venus Orbiter mission. Cabinet approves funds for the 4 space missions, including Chandrayaan-4 Venus Orbiter mission. The Union Cabinet on Wednesday greenlit for important space endeavours for launch by the Indian Space Research Organisation (ISRO) in the near future. The first of which is for the iteration of India's lunar mission Chandrayaan-4. The second, the development of the Venus Orbiter mission (VOM). The third, the building of the first unit of India's indigenous space station, Double Bharatiya Antariksh Station (BAS), by extending the scope of Gaganyaan program, and finally the development of the next generation launch vehicle (NGLV). In total, the cabinet cleared funds of more than 22,750 crore rupees for the developmental costs of these 4 programs. India's 4th mission to the moon, for which a budget of 2,104.06 crore was cleared, will build on the success of the Chandrayaan-3, with which India became the first country to land a probe on the lunar South Pole, and till date remains the standout mission among all of ISRO's achievements on the global stage. Chandrayaan-4 will be a remote mission seeking to retrieve samples of the lunar surface. The mission, which will aim to bring rock samples from the lunar surface back to Earth after a soft landing, is slated for launch in 2027 and will expand on the technology development in Chandrayaan-3 by adding elements like lunar docking, precision landing, and sample collection, and a safe journey back to the Earth. This mission will achieve the functional technologies capabilities eventually for India landing on the moon planet by the year 2040 and return safely back to Earth, according to the government statement, which added that the mission is expected to be completed in 36 months of approval. Chandrayaan 4-5 design complete, 70 satellites likely to be launched in 5 years, ISRO chief. The approved cost for the mission includes spacecraft development and realization, 2 launch vehicle Mark 3 LVM-3, external deep space network support, and connecting a special tests for the design validation. Finally, the mission of landing on the moon and safe return to the Earth along with the collected lunar sample. The second major approval of 1,236 crore was for VOM, India's first scientific mission to Venus, which aims to enable scientists to better understand the Venusian atmosphere and geology and generate data that gives information into the planet's thick atmosphere. According to the government, NGLV will have 3 times the present payload capability with 1.5 times the cost compared to the LVM-3. It will also have a reusability, resulting in the low-cost access to space and modular green propulsion system. In the total, rupees 8,240 crore was approved for NGLV, which includes development cost of 3 developmental flights, essential facility establishment, program management, and launch campaign, the statement said. Going towards the economy of the country from the business point of view, Federal Reserve cuts key rate by sizable half point, signaling an end to its inflation fight. The rate cut, the Fed is first in more than 4 years, reflects its new focus on bolstering the job market, which has shown clear signs of showing. The Fed's policymakers also signaled that they are expected to cut their key rate by an additional half point in their final 2 meetings this year in November and December, and they even envision 4 more rate cuts in 2025 and 2 in 2026. Mines Ministry to set up a project monitoring unit for faster mine operationalization. Only 50 out of 404 questioned mineral were operationalized since 2015, FIMI President. The announcement comes in response to concerns raised by FIMI President Shantesh Guridi about the slow pace of the mine operationalization. Maharashtra government cancels rupees 3,000 crore insurance contract with the UII second. State body says contract was terminated because of the unsatisfactory response from UII. JPJ AY 2.0 was offering universal health coverage to all the state residents with valid ration cards and domicile certificates. Indian oil PSU's dividend stack in the Russia swelled to around $9 million as repatriation efforts flounder. The issue has also featured in the government-to-government discussions between New Delhi and Moscow, but a resolution is awaited due to the various complications arising from the Western sanctions on the Moscow and its energy sector. The issue has been taken up time and again by the Indian companies with their Russian partners over the past couple of years. Going to the world news, including Iran try to influence United States president election with a message out to Biden's team FBI. Musk's X returns to Brazil for some users with nationwide ban. Delta flight passengers face bloody nose and ears aimed pressurization issue in the United States. United States cops denied reports of explosives found near Donald Trump's rally site in New York. Israel declares new phase of war aimed device blasts across the Lebanon. Stuff at Elon Musk's X, Tesla, and SpaceX donate majorly to hires as he packs truck. Hospitals inundated with the injured after Lebanon pager explosions 2 years after Armenia's death. United States issues fresh sanctions on Iran over the human rights violations. 14 India 450 wanted as walkie-talkies, other electronic devices export across Lebanon. Gaza publishes identities of Palestinians killed in the war with Israel. 215 of 649 pages are just children. Ukrainian drone strike triggers massive explosion at the Russian arsenal in Tver region. Lebanon attack. Israel accused of the tampering the pagers. Firm says device manufactured by Budapest-based company. Going to science and tech, we have Musk's X skirts a Brazil ban and return to some users with the change to server access. Justice Alexander de Moraes ordered X blocked nationwide on August 30 after the months of tension with billionaire Elon Musk surrounding his order to take down accounts and the limits of the free speech in the Brazil. Some Brazilian users were reconnecting with the X on Wednesday despite the Supreme Court's recent nationwide ban, the result of the social media network apparently changing the way its servers are accessed. Some Brazilian users reconnected with the X on Wednesday, September 18, 2024, despite the Supreme Court's recent nationwide ban. The result of the social network apparently changing the way its servers are accessed. The reunion may be short-lived, however. Justice Alexander the Morris ordered X blocked nationwide on August 30th after months of the tensions with the billionaire Elon Musk surrounding orders to take down the accounts and limits of the free speech in the Brazil. He also established fines on anyone using virtual private networks (VPN) to access the platform. India experiences the second hottest period since 1970 due to the climate change. A report titled released on Wednesday by climate experts at Climate Central said the months of June, July, and August 2024 recorded the second hottest season since 1970. Months of June, July, August 2024 recorded India's second hottest season since 1970. A report titled People Exposed to Climate Change, June, August 2024 released on Wednesday, September 18, 2024 by climate experts at Climate Central said. As per the study by climate experts Josephine Gigori and Andrew Pershing, cities that were most impacted in India are Thiruvananthapuram, Kavarathi, Port Blair, including Maharashtra's Vasai, Virar, Thane and Mumbai. All these cities expected over 70 days of high temperature because of the climate change. Mpox or monkeypox in India. Kerala confirms second case in United Arab Emirates returning. A test tube labeled monkeypox virus positive is held in this illustration. The man who came to the state from the United Arab Emirates recently was already admitted to the hospital here with this Mpox symptoms, Kerala Health Ministry Vinay George said. A 38-year-old man undergoing treatment in the Kerala's northern Malappuram district has been confirmed to have contracted a monkeypox infection, the State Health Department said on Wednesday, September 2024. The man who came to the state from the United Arab Emirates recently was already admitted to the hospital here with the Mpox symptoms, State Health Minister Veena George said in a Facebook post. World Health Organization urges promotion of a healthy diet, physical activity in the Southeast Asia. The Southeast Asia region was experiencing a rapid demographic transition with urbanization and economic growth further dividing unhealthy diets, reduced physical activity, and more sedentary lifestyles. Rise in obesity and associated metabolic disorders have fueled a surge in non-communicable disease, including cardiovascular disease, diabetes, and cancer. We are responsible for nearly 2/3 of all the deaths in the region, the World Health Organization said. The WHO on Wednesday, September 17, 2024 called on countries in the global health body's Southeast Asia's region to strengthen the policies and promote health diets and physical activity to combat the rising numbers of the overweight individuals, obesity, and spread of non-communicable diseases, which are leading causes of death in the region. Saima Wazid, Regional Director, World Health Organization, Southeast Asia, speaking at the inaugural event of a regional meeting to promote healthy diets and food environments and physical activity through the policies and enabling environments, said that the burden of being overweight, obese, and their associated metabolic disorders has been steadily rising in the region, affecting both children and adults. We are sharing state-of-the-art expertise with the Indian Space Research Organization for Gaganyaan Mission, French Space Agency Chief Philippe Baptiste, Chairman and CEO of the Central National d'Etudes Spatiales (CNES), during the 8th edition of the Bengaluru Space Expo 2024 BISX, a biannual international exhibition by the CII in the association with the ISRO Bangalore International Exhibition Center, September 18, 2024. Philippe Baptiste, president of the French Space Agency, Centre National d'Etudes Spatiales, CNES, speaks on the sidelines of the event of a wide range of the topics. Philippe Baptiste, president of the French Space Agency, Centre National d'Etudes Spatiales, CNES, who is in India to participate in the Bangalore Space Expo 2024, spoke to the Hindu on the sidelines of the event on a wide range of topics, from celebrating 60 years of French-India space cooperation to the Gaganyaan and the Trishna missions. Climate change will escalate child health crisis due to malnutrition. Bill Gates, Bill Gates, co-chair of Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. Around 90% of the negative effect of climate change works through the food system, Mr. Gates said, speaking ahead of the publication of the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation's annual Goalkeepers Report, which tracks programs on the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. Malnutrition is the world's worst child health crisis, and climate change will only make things more severe, according to Microsoft co-founder turned philanthropist Bill Gates. Between now and 2050, 40 million more children will have stunted growth and 28 million more will suffer from wasting. The most extreme and irreversible forms of the malnutrition as a result of the climate change, the Bill Gates and Melinda Gates Foundation said in a report on Tuesday, September 17, 2024. China hits 9 United States firms with a property freeze over the weapons sales to Taiwan. China announced steps against the 9 United States military-linked firms on the Wednesday over United States weapons sales into Taiwan. China announced steps against the 9 United States military-linked firms over the weapons sales to Taiwan in movie to put pressure on the United States to halt its arms sales to the island. China announced a step against 9 United States military-linked firms on Wednesday over the United States weapons sales to Taiwan, freezing their property with China in the latest move to put added pressure on the United States to halt its arms sales into the island. China has repeatedly called on the White House, an important international backer and arms supplier for democratically governed Taiwan, to refrain from the former dealings with the island's leadership. India to have 56 new Doppler weather radars soon, says Ministry of Earth Science. A view of Doppler weather radar at the Chennai Port Trust. The Ministry of Environment has also developed various apps to bring weather forecasts at the fingertips of the general public and farmers in particular. Union Ministry of Earth Sciences MOES Secretary M. Ravichandran revealed that the country is expected to have 56 additional Doppler weather radars in the next few years. The Ministry of Environment has also developed various apps to bring the weather forecast at the fingertips of the general public and farmers in particular. The center is very supportive on this newly introduced mission Motha, he said while speaking to the reporters on the sidelines of the event of Platinum Jubilee celebrations of the Department of Meteorology and Oceanography, Andhra University on Wednesday, September 18, 2024. Melting glaciers of Central Asia for scientists. This photograph taken on July 7, 2024 shows a general view of the Aragian Glacier in the Tian Shan mountain range. The effects of the warming planet have been particularly visible in Central Asia, which has seen a wave of extreme weather disasters. Glaciologist Kalbara Omorova hiked 6 hours up a mountain of the Tian Shan range in the Kyrgyzstan to record the melting process of the glacier. The shrinking glaciers have created a new threat for Kyrgyz towns and cities with melting water, forming new lakes before tumbling down mountains in the dangerous torrents. Near a wooden hut high up in the Kyrgyz mountains, scientist Gulbara Omorova walked to a pile of grey rocks, reminiscing how the same spot was a glacier just a few years ago. At an altitude of 4,000 meters, the 35-year-old researcher is surrounded by the cane peaks of the towering Tian Shan range that also stretches into China, Kazakhstan, and Uzbekistan. At last, there's a famous quotation said by a famous president of India, APJ Abdul Kalam, whose full name was Old Pakistan General Abdul Kalam, birth anniversary 15 October 1935, and up to 27th of July 2015, was an Indian aerospace scientist and a statesman who served as the 11th president of India from 2002 to 2007. Born and raised in a Muslim family in Rameshwaram, Tamil Nadu, he studied physics and aerospace engineering. He spent the next 4 decades as a scientist and a science administrator, mainly in the DRDO and ISRO, and was intimately involved in India's civilian space program and military missile development efforts. He thus came to be known as the Missile Man of India for his work on the development of ballistic missile and launch vehicle technology. He also played a pivotal organizational, technical, and a political role in the India's Pokhran second nuclear tests in 1998. The first since the original nuclear test by India in 1974. Kalam was elected as the 11th President of India in 2002 with the support of both ruling party, Janata Party, and the then opposition Indian National Congress, widely referred to as the People's President. He returned to civilian life of education, writing, and public service after a single term. He was a recipient of several prestigious awards, including Bharat Ratna, India's highest civilian honor. While delivering a lecture at the Indian Institute of Management, Shillong, Kalam collapsed and died from an apparent cardiac arrest on 27th of July 2015, aged 83. Thousands, including national-level dignitaries, attended the funeral ceremony held in the hometown of Rameshwaram, where he was buried with the full state of honors. Mr. Kalam says a very famous quotation. He says that all birds find shelter during rain, but eagle avoids rain by flying above the clouds. Problems are common, but attitude makes the difference. Okay, thank you.